This is your all-purpose foot. It's probably already on your machine. Now notice these feet have identifying marks. This is 0A. That's your all-purpose foot for zigzag and regular sewing. This is your fancy stitch foot. It has a 1 and an A. And this would be good for stitches that put a lot of thread into your fabric. It has this channel on the bottom here. And when you're stitching and you have a lot of thread that you've stitched into the fabric, it'll flow right through. Now these also have that notch in the back, and that is for your IDT, which is your integrated dual feed system, which helps all of your layers to feed through correctly. This is also a fancy stitch foot, but you would not use your IDT as it does not have that notch. This would be good for your satin stitches where you don't want to have any abrasion on top of your fabric. It's the 2A foot. This is your blind hem foot. A blind hem looks like this. As you can see, you don't see the stitches at all from the top. The blind hem foot is also good for top stitching at even distance from the fold of the fabric. That's what this little red guide is for, and it can be adjusted. This is your quilt piecing foot. The distance from where your needle drops to the edge of this toe is 1/4 of an inch. And also these marks show where you can start 1/4 inch away from the edge or 1/4 inch in from the edge. And this is right where the needle would be. This is your zipper foot. Now the zipper foot can be put on either side of the clamp, so that's why it has 2 of these holes for the IDT. And that makes it so that you can move your needle and sew right next to the zipper teeth if you want. This is your automatic buttonhole foot, and I have another video on how to use this. This is your manual buttonhole foot. The nice thing about this is it has these marks here so that if you make horizontal buttonholes, you can have the edge of your fabric right along here, and it will make an even distance to the edge of your fabric from where your buttonhole starts. This is another fancy stitch foot called the maxi stitch foot. It's foot number 8. It also has this channel on the back, but this would be good for those stitches that are built into your machine that are extra wide, like this. And this is what it looks like when it's stitching out a maxi stitch. This is your Sensormatic free motion foot. These are thread nets, and they're for the type of thread that tends to want to fall off the spool by itself. What you would do is, in this case, I would fold it in half like that, put my thread right in there, put this on the spool pin, and the thread would stay right on the spool as it's feeding off. This is the screwdriver, and this is what you would use for maintaining your machine and changing some of the accessories. This is your seam ripper, and this would be for opening buttonholes or unpicking seams. Notice also these little lugs on the side. That's nice for keeping it from rolling away. This is the cleaning brush, again for maintaining your machine. These are 2 felt pads. This felt pad is good for spools that stand upright so that when you stop sewing, the spool stops spinning and it acts like a little brake. That way you don't get a lot of pulled thread. 5 bobbins. Now you need to make sure you get Pfaff bobbins if you need to get more bobbins. They need to be the same kind. They can be a different color, but they need to be this brand. This is your bobbin winding spool pin. Now we put our spool pin on like this, press it down, turn it to the back, and I have how to use this in my threading and bobbin winding video. This is the quilting guide. When you put your quilting bar on your machine, it goes right in here. Make sure you go through this hole back here and tighten it down with this screw right here. Now you can also adjust it by loosening this and making it closer like this. The quilting guide is great for making a nice even distance between stitches. You just follow your original stitching line with the quilting guide. You can also do this when you're quilting, and that would be a seam that you're going from. And of course it also can be used for decorative stitches like your serpentine stitch. And it makes a nice even distance between your lines of stitching. Or if you want to stitch far away from the edge of your fabric, you would use this. These are spool caps. You get 2 large ones, and the large spool cap would be for large spools or to use as the thread stand, like for these kind of spools. And they would be for different sizes of spools. For instance, for this size of spool, you would use this size of spool cap. The small spool cap would be for small diameter spools like this. Then you have a needle set with a variety of universal needles in small, medium, and large, a wing needle for certain kinds of decorative stitching, 2 stretch needles, smaller and larger, a jeans needle, and an embroidery needle. That would be for this kind of thread. It helps protect the thread as it's going through the eye of the needle. Then we have the multifunction tool. Now this is a really handy tool. For one thing, when you're putting your needle into your machine, notice how the needle has this flat side. That would go against the flat side right there. So instead of holding your needle with your fingers when you put it in your machine, this is a tool to help keep it up into the needle clamp as you tighten the needle clamp. It's also good for adding a shank on a large button if you need to have extra thread between your fabric and your button. This is the accessory tray, and it can come off like that. And we have storage in the front for your most frequently used items, including places that you can put your presser feet right in here, and bobbins can go up here. Also, this can lift out and you can use that for other storage. This whole tray comes off like this, and you can put additional accessories underneath. We also have a back storage here, and this would be where I'd put my buttonhole foot or any other accessory that you want to put in there. This is your buttonhole foot. You want to plug it into your machine. Notice it has 2 sides to the plug. You want the little arrow part facing you like this. Plug it in right there firmly. And take off the foot like that, just press down. I usually like to press on the toes in front. It comes off pretty easily. To put the foot back on, line up the stitch hole with the stitch hole here, right like that. Use your presser foot down button, and it goes right on. This is the power cord and the power supply, and the cord plugs in right there like that, and then this part plugs into your machine right over here. This is the foot control, and the plug for that is right here. It plugs in right over here. Then we have the user's guide, really useful, but the user's guide is also on the machine in the memory. Then we have a nice cover that goes on the machine like this, and it has a flap in the back. Now the flap has these magnets right here that keep it shut, but you can also have the flap go through the handle like this, so that now you can carry your machine with the cover on it. This also has pockets in back, and here's a convenient place to put your user's guide like that. You can also put your power cord in here and your power supply like that. If you found this video to be helpful, give us a like. And if you have comments, questions, or ideas for other videos you'd like to see, let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.